we don't even need a horse. Because the horses and the direction the horses are moving to is not the direction common citizens want to go to. And therefore, we need to have another mechanism. If you call it donkey or whatever, what you are focusing is the direction. There might be two horses, but where are they heading to? Are they really heading to where you as a citizens feel like you are supposed to be?
Hello, thank you always for choosing Kura Yetu TV. I am your host Liz Akama, and on our guest list today we are joined by Pidgin Odimwengu, who is a presidential aspirant. Let's get to know more about him. How are you, Pidgin?
I'm fine.
Okay, so can you please share with us who you are and the motivation behind joining this race, and to be specific, presidential race?
Okay, Pidgin Odimwengu was born in Homa Bay County, of course, Rangwe constituency, somewhere called Kochia. Yeah, I've been raised in tea farms of Bomet, somewhere in this company where my parents, of course, were picking tea there. So that's where I raised, and then I did my university education at the University of Embu, where I graduated with Bachelor of Education Arts. Apart from that, of course, Pidgin has been a digital skills trainer. Now a presidential aspirant. I'm the founder of Accountability and Transparency Party, where I also serve as a party leader by then. And of course, apart from that, I'm an ordinary cobbler and a barber. So I do barber shop. I have a barber shop where I do barbering. Then I'm also a cobbler, repair shoes for every ordinary citizen. And I'm also a part-time DJ, so sometimes I also do my side hustle. That's who I am. Okay. Yeah.
So Pidgin, what was the motivation behind joining politics?
They tell you what might or must inspire you is the challenges you go through. Okay. All ordinary citizens, I think, go through the challenges I go through. Being a barber and a cobbler, life is very tough. When any price of any basic commodity increases, you find the pinch. So to me, it was like these leaders, like there's a gap between us and the leaders, the general population and the leaders. And if I see the policies or the things these leaders advocate for, actually do not involve us at all. And they don't even have the feeling. But I understand, of course, they have passed this stage where we are as ordinary citizens, and therefore thinking about us is very hard. So that keeps me moving. Like the challenges I go through is what motivates me and inspires me to move forward. Yeah.
Okay. So currently in Kenya, we have 7 elective positions, right?
Yeah.
You could either go for the MCS seat, but who are you going for the presidency seat?
Everybody know what they want to fix. That's why there are 7. Some of them go for MCS, for MP and whatever. Me, I want to go for presidency. And it's very simple. That is where the button is. Okay. Any switch to change this country start from there. The president has just to click the right button. The MCS, the MP just have to follow the button. So I believe the challenges in this country, of course, need to have a good political will from the leader. Like you see in this previous government, Jubilee was talking of big four agenda. And therefore the MPs and MCs must follow the big four agenda and put policies that favor that. So to me, I think what Kenyans need a right button from the president. Then the rest of the people will follow.
Okay.
Yes.
But I think even the governors have the authority, almost similar to president's authority.
The authority they have is to implement. Because you see, most of resources come from the national government.
Sure.
It's only the president who have the power to see to this cabinet, to see how are we going to cut resources and projects. And then the governor will get their shares, then their work is to implement and use that, you see. Mm-hmm. So if that share is not from a goodwill or from the point of the leader up there, you will not get the resources. Because a governor don't have to generate his own resources. We'll have to depend on resources from the national government. Of course, it was to be other way around. I'll say the 10 years of devolution has been wasted. The national government ought to have come up with clear basic plans and basic projects in the counties so that we could be able to build the capacities of counties. In the next 10 years, county government ought to have been generating revenues to the national government, but now they are still depending on revenue from the national government. I don't believe it was the right path to do. Devolution was right, but the button to implement devolution was not right, and that's why we need to fix that.
Jen, you said there's a lot of things that need to be changed. As an individual, as a youth, how are you going to make it possible when you voted in to the seat?
You see, the first serious problem is corruption. And corruptions are individual. Individual commit corruption. Corruption is not anything without an individual. You cannot separate corruption from an individual. But you can see how these guys are looting our country, surely. Do you believe these guys will stop corruption any day and start to think about us? And therefore, it's a high time that we come and, of course, do what you call the leadership change. Corruption cannot be fought by corrupt leaders. They are already corrupt. So there's no way they're going to fight corruption. You see, as much as, of course, you see we have revenue we are collecting. But if you get the fact that over half of our revenue is going to somebody's pocket, these people are merciless. Because if a project like, for example, they're talking of Aurora and Kimwarel, they're supposed to provide water, somebody takes and pockets it, and they're silent. So the first key problem is corruption. And we need to fight corruption by not corrupt people. We have to ensure that corrupt people are out and follow up or recover the assets that might have disappeared in the process. If they are dead, their money is not dead. We can follow the money where they are, of course, place their money or invest their money. The second key project is we are still lacking basic needs. Me and you know very well that today our kids are in private schools. We cannot afford even a public school, or maybe there is no public school. In the last 10 years, you can ask yourself in your constituency, how many public schools, of course, have come up? None. So when basic commodity like education that is supposed to be provided by the government is not left in the private hands, where you are earning the same salary, and maybe you are struggling even to get a salary, and still you have to take your kid right from PP1, you have to pay that until university. How much is that? This is a basic commodity that need to be provided. And to me, it's very clear. We need to put a location, even if it is one public school per ward per year. Let's do that, so that at least we can increase the access to education. You see, our friends in Turkana walked over 14 kilometers. You see, there was changes from, it's called the exam polling stations, so where they're going to do the exams. Exam stations were changed. But we realized that a student has to travel 14 kilometers to access a public school. And they're in Kenya, 60 years. Talk about health. Surely, is there any public hospital around you? The only thing you see next is a private hospital. And this is a basic commodity. That's why you are paying revenue, so that the government can provide you these services. But you see, these people don't care. Today, if you are sick today, consultation fees are 1,000. Check the rest of the things. You'll be having your brother or your sister dying because you cannot afford that. Well, this is a basic commodity. So we need to bring back again public hospitals. The public hospitals and public schools need to come back. If you construct these public hospitals and public schools per ward, we will create jobs, not the wheelbarrows. Job. Because there's a young boy there who can do mjengo work. There's somebody who has graduated from a TVET who can do plumbing in that same hospital. There's a nurse who is waiting for some job somewhere. He's now having slashers in Kazi Mtaani and he's a nurse. There are some of our engineers who can help in the construction. So this is the direct job youth can evolve in. We don't talk of tokens, because you cannot give tokens if you cannot even, first of all, give even jobs. So those are just few things. So corruption is a key issue, education, healthcare, and we need industries. We cannot be killing mumias and the rest and constructing big highways here. Would they be transporting people or goods? So we need also to have county-based industry. Like for example in Kisii, they have banana. Why can't they have a big industry there where we can have either banana juice, banana whatever, everything else from banana. So this is where I want to focus. If we build this, we can be able to build the baseline of our economy and people can be able to be stable. So even if you increase prices of food, at least these people have somewhere and have some money to cater for that.
Finn, I know for you to say something like corruption, it's easy to fight it when you're not part of it. So as an individual, how are you going to make sure you don't fall into that trap of corruption?
You see, one thing I'm telling you, corruptions are individuals. Unless you don't align with those individuals. If you want to be a puppet of Uhuru and Raila and Kalonzo and Ruto who are corrupt, you'll be a perfect breed of corrupt individuals and corrupt leaders. So that's what I'm saying, leaders need and citizens need to ensure that they do a total overhaul of the leadership. Put in new guys there. Then new guys there can have new rules to fight. But when you're putting one or two guys in the midst of all corrupt people and you expect this guy to overturn the system, it's very hard. And that's why I'm going for the top. That's where the button is. Because you see, if today you ensure that any corrupt individual or any corrupt minister have to step aside and have an investigation to follow up, it's only the president who have that power to direct the various agencies. Because all agencies, including judiciary, is here to help the president run the country. You see? So it's from the top. Ensure that first of all, as leaders and citizens, let me give the citizen the role. You know corrupt individual. First of all, do away with them. Then put the right leaders there. Then when I'm in the president position, I'm able to tap the button. If you are involved in any corrupt cases, out. Of course, you see, we will still be having some few people who are corrupt, but tolerating them is what makes it a process. So once you are mentioning any corrupt cases, out. Then we ensure that we do this repeatedly. It will sink. You see, now corruption has devolved it started from the top, but now any individual here, police officers are collecting money along the highways like it's tax. You see, it's becoming normal. And when it becomes normal, it means that people cannot afford to corrupt, to not survive in this country. Now the country will be like, if you cannot pay, you cannot survive. And that is the worst thing. So once I'm at the top there, I'll be able to see the right buttons. Because you see, the president have all information. Others are appointed positions, you see. Others are appointed positions. Of course, the ministers are appointed, ambassadors are appointed, head of parastatals are appointed. So just do away with these guys. But if you say that you're going to bring 2 guys to fight corruption, I'm telling you, in next 1 month, there will be the perfect breed of corrupt leaders. Currently
in Kenya, when you meet any individual, when you ask them about presidency, they'll only mention about Ruto and Raila. And they say in Kenya we only have 2 horses racing for this presidency seat. How do you feel? Do you still have a chance in this race, or are you going to give up in the process?
The 2 horses is not a big issue, but where are they heading? Are they heading to the direction we want to head to? Because to where we are as citizens, we better choose the horses to run without anybody on top. Let them run alone, because they are not heading to the direction we want to head to. And that's why we don't even need a horse. Because the horses and the direction the horses are moving to is not the direction common citizens want to go to. And therefore, we need to have another mechanism. If you call it donkey or whatever, what you are focusing is the direction. There might be 2 horses, but where are they heading to? Are they really heading to where you as a citizens feel like you are supposed to be? Well, they are all seated today when the cost of food is rising. Everything else, corruption is rampant, and they're there. Do you believe this is the direction these horses are heading, is the direction you want to be? Okay. If you don't believe in that, leave the horses to run, pick the donkeys around or anything around, move to where you want to go. As simple as such.
Okay. And with your campaigns, how are you going to make sure you walk through the 47 counties and bring the votes to yourself?
You see, most of us, when we see, of course, campaign, we have the imaginations of the current pictures that will be created by leaders who have looted and corrupted our money and flying with the choppers up and down and V8s up and down. Even you don't ask them where they're getting that money. It doesn't need to be like that. The information just has to reach home. We have the plans already, have the strategy of where we'll walk to. If it takes even landing in a county, take a border or take a bicycle and move around, I'll be moving around just to reach my people. But I will not give up, and I will not try to pretend to hire caravans and maybe choppers and V8s are around. You go loan somewhere to take V8 and a chopper, and then once you're elected, you steal back and go pay the loans you've taken. And I'll advise more leaders, of course, young aspirants, let us be realistic. You don't need to, of course, borrow wherever you want to borrow and be a puppet of somebody there, so that when you get in, you have to steal and pay back. You see, these people are doing this type of campaign because at least they have looted from us. So they have money. You see, let's take their money. Let's take their money, because that money they're using is our money. So let's take it, but let's know where we are going to vote. So I have plans, of course, physical rallies around the counties. I'm in touch with all young aspirants countrywide, and we are trying to move together and come together to ensure that we at least bridge this gap of the cost of politics. Because the cost of politics in Africa is very expensive. So we are trying to come together. Like if you are in one country, about 30 of us, we'll see how we can share the cost of rallies and caravans, which can be cheaper to 2,000 per individual per rally. With this, we can afford. Then we'll be moving from one country. I'll be going to Kisii, I'll be going to Nyamira. So I have a team and a network of young people countrywide. I'm going to use them. I'm also going to use social media, because you see most of young people in social media, at least to send this information. And any other platform I can get, I'll use. But I'll not compete to hire choppers and wherever so that I compete with these guys. You see, these guys have looted from us, and the best we can do is a clear evidence that they've looted from us. It's very funny when somebody lands from a chopper and jump in a wheelbarrow, and you start holding this person or pushing this person around in your wheelbarrow and feel like he's one of you. And then the next day you are going on foot. After the rally, unatembea kagu home. Now this guy goes to the direction he wants to go to. So it's very clear that even if they're elected, they may not come back to the villages. Okay. So I'm prepared in any means it takes. And the villagers at home, I'll send you one message. Village problem will not be solved by Nairobi issues or Nairobi guys.
Are you a village guy? Are you staying in Nairobi?
I'm in Nairobi. Yeah. I want to rule this country.
And
but if you want to talk of, even Nairobi have villages.
Yeah, sure.
You see? Even we have hoods like Mukuru and Kibra. Problems in Kibra will be solved by an aspirant from Kibra there. Let that aspirant in Kibra there, whether it's that border guy they do mention their rallies or that Mama Mboga, let that Mama Mboga be the next MC and the next MP there. But if you still believe that somebody who stays somewhere good in Karen there will come in Kibra and change the problems of Kibra, forget about that. You'll only come in Kibra, what you'll pick is the votes and go back. So our problem can be solved by us. That's why I'm even telling young people, our problems will be solved by young people. The problems of the majority poor will be solved by their fellow poor people. But the rich and those whatever can only solve the problem of their class, but not our class.
Jipin, on Saturday, the President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, endorsed Raila to be his presidential candidate. Do you feel as an aspirant, as a presidential aspirant, do you feel left out, or you think that was the right move for the president to do?
I'm not in agreement with the president in so many things that he does. Of course, him and Raila and Ruto belong in the same class, and therefore endorsing Raila and Ruto is just the same breed. They are buddies, you see. So I don't have a problem with that, and I didn't even expect, and I don't even want the endorsement of the president. I don't want it at all. In fact, his leadership and the leadership of the previous guys have made us to be where we are, and that's why I'm trying to fight for this. Of course, we have so many highways around going on, well and good, but check what is the cost. Check the rate of debt we are having. You see, even if, as he was talking last time, that at least he has grown our economy from 5 billion to 13 billion, from a debt of around 1 trillion that was left by Kibaki to a debt of 9 trillion. Who will pay that? It's us. So I think that this government don't need that lifestyle, but Uhuru and Raila and Ruto need that lifestyle. Lifestyle of course, their expressway from JKIA to their home easily. But with us, we don't need that lifestyle. We need a lifestyle we can afford. And it is very pathetic that we are struggling to pay heavily just to put these guys in their other mansion lifestyle, while we don't even have house. Some of us are in Uhuru Park here, don't even have anywhere to survive. And we'll be paying other food with VAT to still boost their life. So I think Kenyans need a life that is close to them. We don't need this bungalow and whatever mansion lifestyle or current lifestyle. We need a lifestyle we can afford. And these people ought to be, at least, they need to empathize with us. You cannot actually milk us like this just to afford whatever you want. It's very pathetic.
So as a youth, as a Kenyan youth, do you have the support of other youth, or you're just going into this on your own?
I appreciate the support I've seen so far. You see, you'll talk of our support once you're in the field, and you see how many people are reacting to this. So I appreciate, of course, the support I have so far. I've seen many young people coming out at least to group themselves. There are so many who are even doing my posters and everything for free just to offer. Not even in country, even continentally. I have friends from Nigeria who do call me every morning telling me, we are standing with you, we are helping you to do whatever you want, we are here with you, we can support whatever you want. In the villages, I have so many friends who are telling me, just be on the ballot, we'll vote you in, you see, because they realize that this is what they can relate to, this is what they can identify with, you see. So I believe there's a strong support from the side, just that I need to push myself so that they can know more about me, and that's what I'm struggling to do, and I know they will identify with me, and I'll call upon them to support their fellow young leaders wherever they're coming.
Jupin, we know campaign is a very expensive process, and for you to achieve this, even for you to convince an individual to come into your rallies and your campaigns, you need to at least, the Kenyan notion, you need to give them at least 200 Kenya shillings. So who is financing your campaigns?
I'll say that whatever I've done in my life, I've done it alone. Of course, there are a few individuals, I've told you, many young people who are willing to do 1 or 2 services for me at their free cost. But of course, if there are individuals who can feel like to sponsor this or support this, well and good. But I'm also not looking at that multi-billion campaign said that's talking of 4 billion for presidency. I'm not looking for that. And of course, I'm only welcoming people who can be able to, or who are able to push me. As we are talking of course, citizen demands they be paid. They only demand to be paid by people they know have looted from them. But my friends will not ask for the same. I've been in my state and my area there. People know me as a cobbler. Oh, we are with you. They will not ask me money. But you know somebody who come in the village with a chop and a V8. How do you expect that person, of course, not to pay you? This guy has got something from somewhere, you see. And you know very well that these guys, after they get their position, they'll go back to where they have come from. So you demand either they pay you because you know you not see them. So personally, I'm not facing that challenge of either pay me for this and pay me for that. But I believe this is a cause that you don't need to be paid for. As a young person or any common citizen, the life you're going through today, how you're paying the cost of commodities, you don't need to be paid again to change your life. So I call it a revolution. This is a revolution by ballot, a peaceful revolution, whereby now we are going to use our vote alone. We will not fight each other as we have been doing it in the past period where they use youth to fight another youth or to kill other youth. We are only going to use our ballot. So me, I'm not financed by anybody. But of course, people who want to finance might come in. But of course, it's not the terms that I'll get to the president and loot for you or give you some tender illegally. That's not the issue. So if you have to support you coming, we can support me in whatever way possible. We can walk together this journey. Because as I'm doing this, it's not for only myself. It's not for the youth. It's for every citizen in this country. Even these guys with their vehicles here, they're paying expensive for their fuel and everything else. So they need to have a good leadership. Okay. So that's it.
It's true, your competitors, they have the money, they've looted. They can even buy you to step down. Are you going to keep these up to the ballot, or are you going to slide? Are you pushing these up to the ballot? I'm
not looking for money. If you think I'm a broker, I'm not a broker, or those guys who can be bought, I'll be on the ballot, unless IBC refuse to clear me, maybe. That's the only way I cannot be on the ballot. But even if they don't clear me, I'll go back and support those young aspirants and ensure that they get to the position they want. I will not support those guys. Forget about that. As young as I am, I'm ready to lose it several times you want it, but I'm not going to be bought cheaply. Leave those guys with their own stomach and everything. That's why I tell you, these guys don't care about us. You see, the problem I go through today, for example, and you go through today, and the problem you go through every day, cannot afford you to just be bought and forget about it. But these guys, they don't have any problem. All they need is either 5 billion for another investment, maybe in Rwanda, another investment in currency. That's why they can be bought easily, you see. They'll not buy me. I'm telling you, if I will not be on the ballot, it's not because I'm bought. Either it's because either IBC refuse or any other thing. They come up with their own plan to stop me from being on the ballot. And if they happen to stop me, I'll go out and support their young aspirants, the MCs and the MP. I'll campaign for them to ensure that they get whatever they want. Because I don't trust these guys have a solution. And therefore, they cannot buy me. Okay.
So what's your slogan in this coming election?
Ni wakati wetu. It's just simple as such. Ni wakati wetu. It's our time. It's our time as young people to lead. It's our time as women of this country to lead. Of course, women who are around. It's their time to lead. It's the time of the poor people to lead. It's the time to give leadership that is required for this country. It's our time. Oh, to my fellow citizens, there's never been right time for us to change this country than this time. There's never been a good opportunity to change our future than this time. To my fellow young people, there's never been an opportunity to be leaders than this time. To, of course, many poor citizens who struggle today, there's never been a good reason to remove a government than this time. All the things we've been going through in this country, the high cost of living, unemployment, rampant corruption, lack of maybe access to medical facilities or public medical facilities, high cost of education, and everything else can never be solved any other time apart from this time. And the only way we can solve this is by ballot. We are given a chance to come out, to be the leaders, and to vote the leaders. Kindly, my appeal to you, do not let this opportunity go away, because it will take us another 5 to 10 years to get it again. I, Pidgin Odimwengu, I'm appealing to you that do not judge me of my age, of my background. See me as one of you who go through the same challenges you're going through every day. And please, don't forget to vote me come the election day for the presidency. Ni wakati wetu. Na whatever we've been dreaming for is right here on the ballot. Come out, let's vote. I call it a revolution, a peaceful revolution, a revolution by ballot, and we are the leaders. Not them, we are the leaders. So let's take that opportunity and let's be leaders. Thank you very much, and let's move forward together. Be prepared. I'll be visiting your counties and everywhere again. We'll be talking and sharing more, and we'll be, of course, redefining the direction for our future. It's time for change. It's time for us. It's our time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pidgin, for honoring our invite, and I really appreciate your move as a young Kenyan taking this amid the confusion and amid the horse race, and believing in yourself up to the ballot box. I feel it's a great move. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have been your host, Liz Akama, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you on the next episode.